Hello, I'm Trevor and I'm making this video because I'm in the fight of my life against cancer, and so many people just go down one route with cancer or don't and die. So I wanted to talk about that, and this is going to be a progress thing for me. I'll be looking back on this and adding to it. Might also help others, so I'll make it, I'll tell you what I'm doing and we'll see how that goes. My wife and I went to the oncologist on Wednesday, and his news was really grim, as you kind of almost expect from an oncologist anyway. But I do know I have a very active and large tumour in my right lung that's been established in the last week or two. And the oncologist, to the question, how long will I last if I do nothing, his answer was a matter of months. I'm not going to take that on because that's just like pointing the bone, but that's what he said. You'll last a few months at most. And he also pointed out that the tumour is, we had a look at it as I saw it, the tumour is sitting right over the airwave to the right lung, so his view is that within weeks it will close off the right lung. That's not good. So we got a shock. We knew we were in for trouble, but we didn't know just how bad it was. And I always said I wouldn't have chemo, and I don't want to have chemo, so I'm not going to have chemo. But there were moments when my wife and I got a bit jumpy and thought, oh, perhaps if we have a couple of chemos it will stop this thing from chopping off the lung, and then we can use other techniques. But no, my gut, my God, whatever you want to call it, says no, don't do that. Take on everything else. So this little video is to tell you what we're doing and how we're doing it, and we'll update it as we need to. I'm extremely fortunate in that my wife Susie has been researching all this natural health stuff for the 30 years that for 36 years we've been married, and she's always into it. So all the information was readily available, thank God for her. And the first thing we're doing is this one. The inexpensive baking soda, or bicarb. You probably know that cancer can't live in an alkaline environment. It can only thrive in an acid environment. So the first thing to do is to try to alkalise, or not try to, but to alkalise the body. Simple bicarb does that. Litmus tests tell me how we're going. That costs about $1 a month to do that particular, and there are many people who'll say that's really all you've got to do. If you alkalise your body, cancer can't survive. I believe that. I'm not just too sure how quickly I can alkalise the body, but I'm giving it a red-hot go. Oxygen drops. Cancer can only thrive and grow in an oxygen-depleted environment. If there's oxygen around, cancer's gone. Simple, inexpensive, $20 I think they cost, from a magnificent acupuncturist who I've met in the last year, who's treating me as well, so acupuncture's part of it. These oxygen drops every day to put more oxygen into the system. With that must go exercise to help circulate through. This is an extremely concentrated extract of carbanoids, CBD. That's a 1 on the tongue a day dose, and that alone I think will kill the cancer, and I'm told it will. So I've got a 90-day program with that. That also means a complete change of diet, which is necessary anyway. But I'm now going to go vegetarian, no tea, no coffee. The eagle-eyed among you might have spotted the whiskey up the back. No whiskey, no wine. Just tea, and not ordinary tea, but just green tea, and I've got gotu kola. I think that's a great herb, so I'm having gotu kola tea and green tea and water. That's it for the next 3 or 4 months. And speaking of water, this is very special water. You might notice that there are crystals, quartz crystals in it. This is really active, live, filtered, beautiful water, and that's the only water I'll be drinking. It's also holy in the sense that we bless it. So there is some behind the holy water stories, and this is it. And you can change water simply by thought. You've probably seen those Japanese scientists' experiments on that. So very strong, good quality water. Another important remedy. These are kinesiology drops after a balance for exactly what my body needs. They're important. They're easy to take under the tongue. simple. That jar is full of the most revolting tasting drink I've ever had in my life. These are Chinese herbs prescribed by a Chinese herbalist who saw me yesterday. These are expensive. They taste revolting. I take that 3 times a day and I don't care what it tastes like because I can get past that. And it seems to rip through the bowels a bit along with the bicarb, so there's a few changes going on in the body, and one of those changes of course is killing the cancer, so that's the best change of all, I think. So that's Chinese herbs. Reading's important. This is an old book we've had for a long time, simple explanation about cancer and how it's cured. So, and there's another one on attitude. So reading is important, meditation is important, exercise is important, music is important, family is important. I guess it's just a matter of putting them all together, at least that's what I'm doing, giving the whole damn lot a solid whack, and we'll beat this thing. So we're doing everything. I think we're doing everything we can think of to do. And perhaps the most important thing to think of to do is to just believe this has happened, believe it's done, and get on with it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'll keep you posted in the next instalment.
Well, here we are again. It's exactly 5 months since I made the first part of this recording, and we're calling it a journey with cancer because that's exactly what it is. And a lot's happened in that last 5 months. Firstly, what I didn't mention before is that 2 oncologists originally told me, 3 in fact, told us that it's an aggressive form of small cell cancer, and it will come back somewhere and it will get you and it'll be more vicious than it's been so far. They also said that the tumour was around the airway into the right lung, and I saw that, it certainly was. They warned me that that could easily be choked off in a matter of weeks. So my wife and I decided we would have 3 weeks of radiology on the lung. The recommendation was 6 weeks, we didn't go for that. The recommendation was 4 weeks of chemo, we didn't go for that either. And I must say that the specialists offering these things are not particularly happy when you don't necessarily follow the rules, but it's a matter of not falling victim to the cancer threat, I think. I know that a hell of a lot of people hear the word cancer, they give up and die, and I'm not about to give up. And I also trust myself, and I trust my own body, and I trust my wife, who's an incredible researcher, who comes up with an enormous amount of information and appointments for me. And I trust that there are plenty of methods out there that can actually cure cancer. Anyway, the upshot was we had a 3 months of radiation, which of course has knocked my lung around, and you can probably hear that. But we had a 3 months review of that yesterday, and the cancer has gone from a 7 centimetre lump to 1.5, and the oncologist actually couldn't even see it on the chart. So she said it was there because they measured it, so it shrunk considerably, which is good news. Did the radiation alone do that? I don't know. Did all these other things do that? I don't know. All I know is that that's a pretty big success rate, and if we got that far with 3 weeks, what benefit would have there been to having an extra 3? Because oncologists said they'd never get rid of it. They can't cure it. They told me that. So that was good news. I also had a brain scan yesterday because they said the place that small cell lung cancer is likely to go is into the brain. That came up all clear. They even found remnants of a brain in there, so all is looking good. So 5 months on, I'm still here. I'm feeling terrific. I have lost a lot of weight, which may even be noticeable to you. I've lost about 14 or 15 kilos in that time. Not through the cancer, just because I needed to. I got myself down to 80, which is where I should have been anyway. Have I been faithful to all the practices I said I'd be faithful to? No, I haven't. Have I done everything and not done things that I should have done? No, I haven't. But generally speaking, we've been pretty damn solid on this. You can see behind me a whole bunch of meds there, and they've all come from Professor Sali and his team at the National Institute of Integrated Medicine. We've been to them, we've been everywhere we possibly can. So we're doing acupuncture, we're doing Chinese herbal medicine, we're doing Dr. Sali stuff, we're doing conventional radiology, we're doing this gadget, we're doing, of course, lots and lots of supplements, but we do them anyway. And we're eating much more sensibly, and I'm eating much more sensibly. So all in all, I'd have to be pretty happy with myself right now. Well, I am anyway. In all of that time, my attitude hasn't faltered. To me, this is it's just a disease that's got to be handled. A dangerous one, admittedly. But I'm 80, so you've got to expect dangerous things will happen to you when you're around about 80, but we're not done with this yet. And I'll check back in for the next instalment. Keep laughing.